Dan Rubenstein, it's bowl season, my friend. Bowl season is here.
It's great. What a time. What a time to be alive with you, Ty.
What a time to be alive with you, my friend. Welcome. Welcome all. What a time to be alive with you for Ballerhood.
True.
Great to have you back with us. Thank you for downloading, for supporting what Dan and I do. Don't forget to hit follow or subscribe if you're listening to this episode. On today's show, we are doing a big old batch of bowl previews, Dan. We split them up into 2 batches of 17. We're going to preview 34 games over the next week or so. So this is part 1.
Damn.
On Tuesday, you're going to hear our playoff preview for those 4 big games. We're going to give it its due and talk about it on its own show. And then on Thursday, we're going to do the next batch of bowls. Okay, we've got a part 1, a part 2. I resurrected an old sound that I'll save for a little bit from now. We are going to go through interesting things in each of these games, give you enough information to feel dangerous, that type of thing. We put a lot into, I think, trying to harvest the interesting nuggets, if you will.
Ooh, nugget harvesters. I like that.
Yes, absolutely. So we're going to do that in just a little bit. We also have some news that we did not have a chance to discuss on any of our previous episodes. We will do that today as well. Don't forget, if you are listening to this, playbowlbingo.com. It is now up. It is running. All you got to do is go there and fill in your email address. To some of you listening to this, I don't know, maybe later on in the weekend or on Monday, you may go to that page and find that you can start making selections.
Oh,
I will talk through what that means here as we start previewing games. Just know that this is going to be almost a working session between you and I.
That's true.
This episode, we're going to figure
Build up that bank.
Yeah, we're going to figure out what our answer bank looks like, if that's cool with you.
Couldn't be happier to do it.
We should start, though, with the news of kind of the weird, I guess. We've got a little bit of breaking news. Happened a few days ago now. Bill Belichick going to be the next coach at North Carolina.
Great. Can't miss. Next item. Okay. I don't know how you actually want to do this because we have coaching movement, big, medium, small. We have portal movement. Like I just saw people think Billy Edwards might be the bridge quarterback to Bryce Underwood at Michigan. Like there's just Jackson Arnold's visiting some SEC schools. Like how do we actually want to go about? Are we just going to do like save portal thoughts for we'll grab Max Olson in 2-3 weeks when more dust has settled? Like how intense do we want to have this news segment?
Let's start with the coaching moves.
Okay,
because that always moves the needle. And we do have some major breaking news. I guess it's not breaking at this point. It sort of broke the news, if I'm being honest. We could talk about those. And then since I know we're both pretty interested in the portal stuff, if there are any interesting names, rumors, what have you, that you have seen, if we want to talk about those, we can do that.
Sure.
Before we get into the Bulls. The big one, though, is Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick, after, I guess, a brief period of footsies with North Carolina, has decided that not only does he want to coach them, but they want him to coach in Chapel Hill as well. It was a very kind of backwards news cycle, I think, with respect to Bill Belichick. Usually, we're used to hearing about a school is targeting. The school is fishing to try and get the best targets. In this instance, the news that actually broke first was that Bill Belichick had agreed. He had agreed to coach at North Carolina, and we were waiting to hear if they would accept his terms.
Right.
Which is a new one for me. We've been doing this since 2008. In fact, they did. This, of course, set off an incredible shockwave around all of sports, not just college, but the NFL. He had tried last season to get an NFL job. Didn't work. He is now going to be in the college ranks for some period of time. Maybe we can discuss that. He's sort of notably mentioned on the Pat McAfee show what his vision is for a college program. It amounts to an NFL pipeline. He wasn't talking a whole lot about championships in the interview that I saw.
Right.
Was talking a lot about how he wants to structure this after a pro program. He wants it to be an NFL pipeline. Hints, light notes of what Herm Edwards said back in the day before the Arizona State thing. I'm not equating the two, but it's not that as well. I know just because you and I have talked about this that we sort of differ on this hire and whether or not it's a good thing. But talk talked about it at length on our bonus episode that's out on Patreon at verballers.com right now. Can you summarize that for the Verballerhood here?
I have a lot of doubts. And even after we finished recording that Patreon episode where we talked about RichRod and Bill Belichick accepting head coaching jobs at not surprising places, I guess, in terms of RichRod, and Bill Belichick's, I think, dad played and went to North Carolina. So there was some connective tissue there. But I saw the buyout drops to $1 million after June something 2025, right?
Yes.
It drops from $10 million to $1 million. And so it could be looked at as a 1-year bridge to his son. It could be looked at as like, hey, let me give myself the option, but I'm planning on being here for as long as they'll have me type thing. It seems that the NFL in some front office circles have soured on the idea of Bill Belichick at 71, 72 years old, moving forward as their head coach. He interviewed with, I think, the Falcons, and they went with Raheem Morris. And so maybe he's grown sour on where the NFL is. Perhaps they've grown. It's a mutual souring tie.
Yeah.
But this opportunity came up. He had interest. He has a vision, which you mentioned. Apparently, the 400-page Bible manifesto thing
sounds
was
like
not
BS.
true according to
That
Bill
was
Belichick.
That makes me sad. I want that to be true.
I know. Love a good manifesto and not a problematic manifesto.
Always, yeah.
So my thought is that it is going to be extraordinarily challenging for an outsider, no matter his legendary status in the NFL, to come in and shift from being a coach to a person who has to oversee students, right? To oversee 19-year-olds, who has to golf with donors, who has to deal with kids floating their names into the portal because they're unhappy with playing time. And, perhaps things are going to change in the next couple of years in terms of how this sport is administered and how rosters are administered, and revenue sharing obviously becomes a thing and roster size becomes a thing. But at their core, you can say you're going to run it like an NFL organization. You're going to bring in Mike Lombardi from now VSiN.
Yeah.
So that's where he was, to run your college program front office. But at their core, these are teachers. These are teachers teaching DBs how to roll into coverage, teaching linebackers how to diagnose the outside zone. Whereas in the NFL, you are coaching more than you're teaching. You are saying, this is what our game plan is. This is what they're doing. And it's a different job. It's a different gig. And at 72, do you have the patience to not necessarily learn on the job is a weird way of putting it for somebody who's had as much success as he's had, but he's in a different stage of his coaching life.
Yeah. And
to sort of build up the patience muscle, that's not patience, TSCE, that, having patience with, a transfer coming in from Tulane, a transfer coming in from Grambling, a transfer coming in from Cal, at the same time recruiting, at the same time figuring out your plan for the 2027 class, the 2028 class. He might be shielding himself from a lot of those granular decisions and offloading it to front office types or assistants or his son, whatever. But it's very difficult to see when ideally any program hiring a new coach is saying, we're bringing in this person with a vision and energy, and that if all works out, we are 5-6 years down the road of them building this program into something special. And maybe we lose them if we're a program the size of North Carolina, or maybe we sign them to a lifetime deal, or maybe it goes up in years 3 and 4, then down in 5 and 6 with no end in sight to that, and we move on. But it's hard to see any of that fitting in with Bill Belichick. That maybe he's there for a year to get things right, 2 years to get things right. He's there as his retirement for 7 years until he's, my math is not my strong suit, 79. It's hard to see the exact path to success for me, in as much as you can see why it could work, but I also don't see the boxes being checked everywhere with somebody with this little experience on this level, if any.
I am all in on this move.
I know you are.
I am all in. I think it's a splash hire. I think there is also a high probability of failure, but I don't think that should stop anybody from trying. It shouldn't have stopped North Carolina from trying. Now, the one caveat I have is they are obviously making some concessions here. One thing that was not refuted is that Steve Belichick is basically the coach in waiting. Okay.
Right.
This could prove to be a very bad deal for that university. But as I said to you when we did our bonus episode yesterday, as part of this, as part of them agreeing to his terms, they are upping the spend significantly on the football side. And though that can go away at some point in the future under a different coach, I just feel like in the big money era of college football where everybody's trying to get a little bit more money and get a little bit better and a little bit more notoriety, and now with the rise of like revenue sharing and like you have to put money into this machine to make it truly profitable for you, I don't see them easily going back on that commitment at some point in the future. Not to say they can't, and it certainly has happened elsewhere.
Right.
But once you get a university like North Carolina to commit full bore to going in on football the way they are with Bill Belichick, at a minimum, I think that outlives the Belichick era. And I don't think that's a bad thing just from a football standpoint. There's a whole ethical conversation around how much you should be spending on football. I'm not going there. But in terms of football and providing the resources, presumably they have made that commitment to do just that here. Okay,
right.
So he doesn't really have many excuses. He has presumably everything he needs in order to make this work. The second thing I would add, and this is kind of the, I guess, sticking point for me, I don't know how this vision and this quote unquote NFL pipeline he wants to set up compares to other such programs around the country. How does it compare to Georgia or Ohio State or Texas or some of these other what amount of football factories, Alabama, right?
Right.
Bill Belichick's not the only one with this idea. There are other schools around the country who have done a pretty good job of it. How unique is this going to be? Somebody could do the reporting on that. I don't know. And furthermore, how long does it take to spin that up? You know, like he's got the 1-year buyout. I think you said 2025. I think what you mean is 2026, right? Just one season, the 2025 season. After
I saw 2025, like June.
Okay. Well, that
Perhaps
would be a
I
bite.
saw it wrong.
That would be,
That's
but
what
either way, it's regardless if it's 2025 or 2026, the point holds that there's an out for him if he decides he wants to go back to the NFL and try to win that games record.
Right.
Okay. So I don't know if he's going to be able to spin it up that quickly. You're talking about a lot of new people coming in with different ideas, turning this program upside down into something it's never been before. My hunch is that you can't just snap your fingers and make that so. Okay. So that's what I am watching first and foremost. But I think aside of all of that, there is real marketing, real recruiting value if you are putting the greatest NFL coach of all time in charge of your program. Because which kid coming out of high school, which quarterback doesn't want to be Tom Brady?
Right.
Now, as somebody pointed out to us online, and I think it's a very valid point, this stint for Belichick may be the best way to measure up whether it was him or whether it was Brady responsible for all that success in New England. I think that's a great point that I haven't heard mentioned a whole lot of places. But I think
I think that's a commonly held take nowadays.
Oh, no, it is.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if it's a take, okay? Brady won when he went elsewhere. But I'm curious to see how much pull that has with the recruits, the youth of America in the year of our Lord 2024 and beyond. Because it seems to me like that would be a pretty effective marketing pitch. If he's able to get talent in there, I have no doubts that he'll be able to coach. He'll be able to win games because I think he knows what he's doing. And I think he'll surround himself with people who know what they're doing. For me, it's more a question of how long is it going to take to boot up this operation? And will it take so long that it's going to be the kid running it and not Bill?
Right. And maybe Bill transitions to like an advisor, consultant, something like that. And so he's not gone after 2-3 years or whatever, a year and a half.
The part that skeeves me out a little bit is that this is a Steve Belichick Trojan horse.
Of course.
Just to sneak the kid in through the back. I don't know. I say the kid, right? Just to sneak his son in through the back door to get him a coaching gig.
Yeah.
And, everybody's just cool with that. It's not generally the best way to get your job, whether in coaching or elsewhere.
Did you see
that part to me is a little bit weird, but I think just on the surface, putting a guy with such name brand authority in the football world in charge of your program, I kind of think that's a good idea. We saw he's not Deion. I know he's not Deion. I don't want to equate the two, but there's at least enough similarity there to prove that this can be successful on some level.
Did you see clips of Tom Brady and Gronk and Julian Edelman laughing at the prospect of Bill Belichick?
Like, they all said unequivocally no. Can you see him coaching in college? No.
The players who spent the most time around him are like not a fit for that sport.
And Brady had a great quote too. Can you see him in someone's living room saying, well, we don't really want you, but I guess you could come, and if you're good enough, we'll play.
It's not amazing. It's not an amazing weigh-in from the players who spent so much time around him. And here's the other thing. You talk about, and I think you're right about this, you talk about the ability as a recruiter to say, look what I've done in this sport, and you can come play for me and learn under me and my staff. First of all, the staff has not been an incredible performing staff throughout the years. It's largely been an eye for specific talent. Obviously, Tom Brady being the quarterback that he was. I don't care who you are. If you're hiring a coach that's 72, and let me be clear, I love elderly generations. Okay, let's be absolutely clear. This is not an ageist comment. Or it's not ageist intent. But if anybody hires a coach in their early 70s, mid 70s, a couple years into the tenure, that's the easiest way to recruit against a school.
Yeah.
How long is this guy going to be coaching?
Right.
How long is this guy going to be around? You're committing to him. Now, it's a different world because everybody is very quick to enter the transfer portal, and that's fine. But I think one of the big selling points of a lot of these places is security of like Dan Lanning putting out the video, how long Kirby's been there, how long Dabo's been at Clemson, how long James Franklin and now Ryan Day have been at their respective places. And Ryan Day hasn't been around too long, but in the world of, where college football is now, he's an old tenured coach. So to hire somebody at that age and to fire Mac Brown for being that age, not the reason why, if you were winning at that age, but to say like, there was uncertainty around Mac Brown's future and retirement at 73, and now you hire a 72-year-old and you're like, where's he going to be in 2 years?
Right.
When he's 74, which is not particularly young for being a major college football coach.
It is a very big swing from UNC. Reportedly a very big commitment that the board had to agree to. We will see if it works. I remain optimistic. I'm also the same guy who was a little bit more optimistic about the Dion project when we talked about it back in the summertime, just as like a proof of concept. Like if this works, and it did work this year, I don't know what's going to happen next year, but
we don't know what's going to happen next year with anybody, but
I don't know what's going to happen next year, but if it works, it's an interesting way to go about roster construction. Sure. And I think a guy like a Kurt Cignetti went a step further with it. They're 11-1 in the playoffs. It is a brand new team. It is Indiana in logo only, as you have said before.
Yes.
You can boot things up much quicker in this day and age. And so let's see what he can do.
But Kurt Cignetti brought players with him.
He brought players with we're not bringing like Julian Edelman.
Deion Sanders brought a likely top 10 draft quarterback and Heisman probability situation at corner and receiver. Bill Belichick can't bring Tom Brady.
He can't. We need to see if he can trade on that reputation again, just as he did here to strong arm North Carolina into upping its commitment to paying him $10 million.
Yeah.
Can that reputation sway some recruits, sway some transfers? They don't have a whole lot of time to get this thing up and running. The transfer portal's open right now.
Right.
And there are guys who I'm sure would be interested in hearing more about what North Carolina's got planned, playing for Bill Belichick. They're going to need to rely on some transfers in order to do that. So we'll see what they can do. I don't know. Why don't we talk about very quickly some of the other ones here?
Please.
Because we didn't have a whole lot of an opportunity to talk about the RichRod hire, which dropped at the same time as the Belichick hire, the Scott Frost hire, which happened before both of them, and the Dan Mullen hire. So RichRod going back to West Virginia, Scott Frost going back to UCF, two retreads in that sense, and Dan Mullen getting back in the college game, taking over for Barry Odom at UNLV.
Just the erasure of Casey Keeler going to Temple, by the way.
I brought that up actually as we get into our bowls here because Sam Houston is one of the games we're going to talk about.
Totally good. Okay. What are your opinions?
I had heard that the RichRod hire was mostly to energize boosters, and I don't necessarily... Not nothing. I don't necessarily think that's the worst idea. I also think, to the point that you have been making about Belichick and like others, that have been rumored. I think the fact that he's been a successful college coach is a good thing. RichRod's never really been out of the game. He didn't leave on great terms with West Virginia, so that's kind of its own deal altogether.
Nor Michigan, nor Arizona.
Yeah. There's that whole side of it that he's going to need to find a way to heal up. But I don't mind the hire. I probably would have preferred sort of a newer name in that neck of the woods, but at least it's somebody that if the boosters can get comfortable with him and if he's able to assemble talent, like it's not going to be the Pat White era again. College football
not going to be a Big East era. No,
college football's changed a great deal since he was there the last time. And generally I'm kind of leery on retreads. So that being what it is, if it will energize the base, that's okay. I like the Mullen hire. I like Dan Mullen getting back in on it. I think with the way that college football is structured, and you've probably heard me say this 1,000 times, but there's real value in being a genuinely good G5 team, especially in this day and age, and especially in a year like we just saw. Like there were conversations you and I had week 11 where it was unclear. Sure. It was unclear that there would just be one G5 team. We were talking Tulane maybe could find a way to sneak in and knock somebody else out. I mean, these are real things that are possibilities, I think, in this day and age, especially in a year like this where there was so much or more parity than we're accustomed to. So Dan Mullen, I think he's got an interesting quarterback, provided there isn't a transfer, who could run the Mullen system and Hodge Malik Williams.
Oh, my God. Huge winner. Yeah.
I like that. I think Hodge Malik Williams is a huge winner in all this. He should stay put. The Scott Frost hire, I have no idea what to expect there. It went so poorly at Nebraska that I'm inclined to say that I don't like this hire at UCF, even if he's a familiar name there who won the quote unquote
and has been out of the sport a couple of years. Yeah. Reputation not great behind the scenes. Yeah.
No. So I think generally speaking, that's where I'm at on those three.
The Dan Mullen hire is super interesting. Now, he also was somebody who talked about getting, financial commitments behind the scenes, given where the sport is right now, which is very reasonable. And obviously, given where UNLV was with the Matt Sluka situation, wanted clarity on how NIL would be run and get everybody on the same page there. UNLV is also in a unique position, not unlike where UCF, Houston, Cincinnati, BYU, where as this sport consolidates and being in a place like Las Vegas, UNLV turned down the Pac-12, whatever the fake Pac-12 that's reconstituting itself.
Right.
Sure. Call it names mean something, but I guess just call it whatever you want. They're really well positioned geographically in Vegas as a growing major sports town with, the Raiders and the Knights all
play at a cool stadium, right?
They play in a cool stadium that, is talked about as hosting more major college games. They're like, it wouldn't surprise me that Dan Mullen also had a conversation with UNLV brass that centered around like, we're having like these early like maybe the Big 12 will come around in a couple years, 3-4 years, something like that, as the sport, consolidates even more. UNLV can be a pretty good job, as Barry Odom showed, on the verge of winning a pretty significantly talented conference in the Mountain West. So like, I think it's good. The only thing with Dan Mullen is he's always peeking around for the next job.
Peeking around, and recruiting was a big time issue towards the end of his stay at Florida. And, being a G5 school, that's just a challenge I think they all have to deal with.
But he's in a nice position where at UNLV, you can look around the West Coast schools, and if they win a little bit, the Dan Mullen reputation is such where you're like, we'll take this UCLA quarterback. We'll take this Oregon backup quarterback. We'll take this Washington backup quarterback. Or like UNLV is an attractive enough place geographically and with what they've done recently on the field that you're just like, oh, that's a good enough place to pick off a bunch of transfers, maybe buy low types and run a largely successfully proven offensive system. And they'll have a fun identity in a conference that is gettable. Now, he could be there for 2 years like Barry Odom and then just take, an Arkansas or something like that.
Well, we'll see. I think he's got an interesting pool of talent to work with. I don't hate the hire. Okay. Any interesting transfers that you have seen? Any ones that jump off the page to you? since our last episode.
Darian Mensah to Duke,
Mm.
I think is fascinating.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact Thomas Castellanos. Is that official? Florida State?
Florida State, yeah.
I mean, the quarterback portal is probably the most interesting just because of what an immediate impact can look like. Fernando Mendoza is going to be interesting. I think I saw his name pop up with like schools like Georgia.
I saw Georgia, yeah.
So bigger type programs look at Fernando Mendoza as not a buy low, but a quarterback who perhaps wasn't surrounded with the most talent at Cal, and that you could project interesting things for him. There's like a Jackson Arnold story with, Mississippi State and Jeff Lebby, or Auburn. There's a lot of Auburn's being very active. Syracuse is being very active. So yeah, quarterback is the most interesting. I mentioned the Billy Edwards thing with Michigan as they look to find a bridge quarterback between Davis Warren and Bryce Underwood.
Yeah.
Potentially by the end of next year, like DJ Lagway came in the middle. So Billy Edwards, I think, would be another, not buy low, but buy medium, because the line at Maryland was pretty bad. The running game was pretty bad. And so the best of Billy Edwards was interesting with good receivers. Obviously, Ty Felton went over 1,000 yards. So
that's right.
Who else I see? Zach Pyron to Minnesota.
Zach Pyron in Minnesota. He's going to be presumably a backup. I'll talk about that when we
build some depth.
Go through our games here and get to Georgia Tech. Connor Wigman going to Houston.
I think that's an interesting fit. They need all the help they can get on offense. Fresh start, but in the same, obviously, specific geographic area.
Yep. I guess a little bit of clarity on who's going to be playing quarterback for Utah this year.
Yeah.
We see that. Is it Devin Dampier decided
New
to
Mexico.
go from New Mexico up to Utah after a bunch of the Utah guys transferred out?
Wisconsin's down everybody.
Wisconsin's down everybody.
TVD, Braden Locke, and I think it's this Cole LaRue would be the third string.
The name that I'm very interested in amid all of this, and it should not come as any great surprise. He just entered the portal, I guess, on Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Van Buren in the portal from Mississippi State.
MVB. Yeah.
They decided that they were going to take a transfer, and as such, it's going to be MVB looking elsewhere. I think he's got a lot of promise. I'm interested to see where he ends up. He could play a really big role in some interesting systems.
Saw Chip Lindsey to Michigan, his new offensive coordinator.
OC. Yeah.
Was decent at North Carolina, but not incredible. I think they peaked at around in the 20s in terms of points per drive.
Yeah.
The coordinator movement will be fascinating. Quarterback movement will be fascinating. I saw Nebraska got the big edge rusher from Mizzou.
Yeah,
who was the 5-star. We shall see. Receiver's going to be usually the deepest because everybody wants more targets. Everybody wants a little bit more thrown their way. So we'll see on that front. But yeah, a lot of active teams in the SEC right now, and it's going to be super fascinating to see with playoff teams post playoff losses or wins.
That's right. That's
portal entries
and rumors about too.
Yeah, Quinn Ewers.
Rumors running amok that Quinn Ewers maybe has an offer on the table. It was from quote unquote some Big Ten team to transfer out and stay another year. Can take guesses as to who that is if you look at the standings.
I mean, if he's not going to the NFL, I don't think they're going to sit Arch 3 years. So it's either Arch starting or leaving Texas. Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know. I don't think it would be a bad move for him to come back. I also don't think he will.
Miami's looking for a quarterback. Indiana's looking for a quarterback. Colorado's looking for a quarterback, presumably.
Yep.
A lot of big teams. A lot of interesting.
A&M, maybe not. They got Jacob Zeno, baby.
I think A&M will be looking for a quarterback still.
Jacob Zeno. Oh, my gosh. All right. More to come on this front. We will do our best to keep you up to speed on all of this action. The main thing that we are doing here, though, I must say, we're previewing bowls, Dan.
The barge with the bowls is here. All aboard.
Do you remember the Bowl Barge series we did about 4 years ago?
I was still in Brooklyn, so yes.
Yeah, we did the Bowl Barge. We broke it up into fours. It was a different day and age. Different world altogether. To me, bowl season, though, is like the white whale of prognostication. It's obviously always been very difficult to predict postseason exhibition games, which is what these amount to. But now with all the transfer portal movement and all of the other distractions, opt-outs, I mean, it's kind of impossible. So this isn't so much a prediction show today. Hopefully, we're just looking to give you some nuggets that will make you care, or if you are in some sort of bowl pool, make you a little bit more informed. So my advice on that front, because I do this every year, we're not doing the confidence pool. But if you are doing one, my advice is load up on your points early. That's the East Coast Elliott rule that I have spoken into this microphone more times than I can remember.
Yeah.
My hard and fast rule is if a team lost its coach or a couple key contributors, either to the portal or opt-outs, whatever, pick the opponent.
So pick all of the opponents in all of the games because everybody's losing coaches and portal guys. Yeah. Except for Ohio. Ohio lost a coach, but no portal guys.
I'll talk that through.
Yeah.
And then the final thing, and it's the most relevant, I think, when it comes to bowl season, trying to figure out what the hell is going to happen. Try to pick the team that wants it more.
Whatever that means.
Whatever that means. This team, this part of the season is less about the team that you think is better and is much more about the team that just cares more because of all those distractions. So this is not me saying to try and like play amateur psychologist or anything like that, but I kind of try to play amateur psychologist and figure out which team I think gives a damn. That we have seen more than a few occasions where a team goes into a bowl game and it's just, they're there for the field trip. It's 1, 2, 3 Cancun. It's not a good showing.
Right.
So that's where I'm at with this.
Do you remember my rule? My one golden rule in picking bowl games? It's been a year. You've gotten older.
I feel like I jotted it down somewhere in my notes here, and I already forgot it.
My one central rule. Pick against the MAC.
Pick against the MAC. That's right. I do have that.
Pick against the MAC. And
pick against the MAC.
I said that before because I was just like, the MAC is just constantly losing these games. They were pretty good last year, but in the portal era, all of these MAC rosters, and it's not something I liked, but they're being stripped bare.
Pick clean, man.
And so if you're asking, like, other than Ohio, which you mentioned you have as well, Ohio lost their coach, finished the season super strong, won the MAC. We'll see what that means in bowl season. If you're a big Parker Navarro, yes?
Yeah.
If you're a Parker Navarro guy or gal. But pick against the MAC.
Pick against the MAC, okay.
Yeah.
Timeless words here. We're going to start with the Scooters Frisco Bowl. We're going to run all the way through on this episode.
Let's do it.
Up until the 27th of December, which is the Friday game, the Las Vegas Bowl, Dan. As we go through here, I will tell you when we get to the point where we need to start identifying items for our Bowl Bingo answer bank.
Yes.
Okay. This is where the collaborative part comes into this episode. I want to talk through just some zags that we could include as part of our answer bank. These are things that you can pick as you're going to playbowlbingo.com, signing up for our Patreon for free and getting your name in the hat. These are items that you can pick. You get like a choice of 6 things that you think are going to happen. Okay.
Yes.
Things that you think are going to happen over the span of time that our first week's game runs. And then afterwards, we do it all over again.
And these are not abstract items.
No,
these are definitive items. So like
these are definitive items. These are point spreads. These are player props. And then these are things like, will there be a successful fake punt?
Right. I mean, it could be abstract, but it has to be definitive. Like, will there be lightning delay? That's a yes or no.
That's right.
Will there be a Hail Mary winning play?
That's right.
Yes or no.
Right.
It is not necessarily a fantasy things like
no.
Will a male and female Pop-Tart consummate their love at midfield and produce baby Pop-Tarts on the fly?
I
guess that would be definitive, right? If that either happens or doesn't.
We can have a fun Pop-Tarts Bowl prop. I don't want that one, but
okay.
Yeah. Suffice
for
to
yourself.
Say. Anyway, I will let you know when the time has come.
Okay.
Let's get a few under our belt first here.
Done.
Before we get into things. The other thing I must confess, and this is only because I did this at about 5 a.m, going through and looking at these 17 games. I have identified a new fascination, a new kink for me with respect to bowl season.
No kink shaming here. Okay.
You know how there's like an official UniWatch guy who just grades all of the new uniforms across all the sports?
I mean, the UniWatch blog is legendary.
It's an institution.
Yeah.
Paul Lucas?
Paul
Lucas. I may want to become the trophy guy.
I like where this is going.
I kind of want to be the guy that grades all the trophies.
Are there some oddballs?
I have gone through in exhaustive detail. I spent an inordinate amount of time this morning at 5:30. I have thoughts on all 17 of the trophies that are in the bowl games that we're discussing today.
Do you know what nibbles on my ear during bowl season?
Hmm.
Awkward CMO commercials of the sponsor. Like, I'm Stephanie Johansson here on behalf of the Idaho Potato Commission.
The stuff that they throw into you because you're a sponsor.
Yes.
You get like 35 seconds of airtime. You use it however you want, that type of thing.
As proud as we are of the young men competing in this bowl game, we're even more proud of the starchy goodness that comes out of the state of Idaho each and every year, filling our hearts and stomachs. Oh, I love it all. I love that awkward 30-second, like, hey, everybody, we're so proud to be involved in the Scooters Frisco Bowl.
Let's see if we can rip through these in 35, 40 minutes, all right?
Seconds. Continue.
Seconds. Tuesday, 9 p.m., December the 17th. They call it the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl. It is between Memphis at 10-2. It is West Virginia at 6-6, Dan. West Virginia fired Neil Brown. Their offensive coordinator is going to be the interim. For the most part, on the Memphis side, looks like a full boat. We might have an opt-out from Mario Anderson, the running back. He potentially could opt out, which would obviously be a hit to the offense. But I would say in terms of watchability, both teams have given up a ton of big plays this season. On paper, this is a matchup that looks to me to favor Memphis because they like to throw and West Virginia doesn't really like to stop it. So I think I lean Memphis here, Dan.
Yeah. I'm leaving Memphis as well. West Virginia, and even like West Virginia fans, like you're not super hyped about this game. You're hyped about RichRod coming back. Maybe. I don't know.
Are you hyped about Scooter's Coffee, though? Are you familiar with Scooter's Coffee?
I had to look it up. There's apparently some locations near me. Big on the, we created coffee out of a cookie. I'm like, what? Can we just get a cup of coffee? No? Okay. It doesn't look appetizing to me, but I should try it before making any sort of concrete statement.
You don't like to drink your cookies.
It was just a lot of hey, we threw a bunch of sprinkles around. Like, why? Why are you doing this? Just serve really good coffee. That's great by me. Yeah. So, no, I've never been to a Scooter's Coffee, but again, I'll try it before forming my final opinion. Frisco Bowl in Frisco, Texas. I'm going Memphis. I like Memphis more. This is the swan song, I believe, of Seth Hennigan.
Yep.
And we'll see on West Virginia. And they're still playing. When West Virginia can run the ball, they become kind of fun and interesting.
Can I tell you something interesting I found about West Virginia? Because I was going through and I was doing the postmortem on some of these teams. My preseason notes, I went back and I've just been comparing where some of these teams finished and checking to see how far off I've been.
Yeah.
One of the notes that I mentioned in the preseason about West Virginia was how last season their defense, though not horrible, was pretty bad on first and second down. And there was a 70% rate of an opposing team getting a first down on first and second down.
Yes.
Which means that the defense wasn't good enough to get to third down 30% of the time, which is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Now they were able to kind of navigate that, get Neil Brown a temporary boost. But my note was they need to improve upon that. This season, West Virginia gave up a first down on first or second down 70.3% of the time, which is comically high and almost identical to last season. It did not get better.
This is also the worst blitzing team in America.
Yes.
They don't blitz often, but when they do, it goes super wrong for West Virginia.
Oh, yeah. I'm with you on Memphis. It's a veteran team. Their offense was let down by their defense this season. I had hoped that it would be different, but it wasn't. Still a very, very good team. They're 10-2. The trophy situation for this game is an abomination.
Oh, no. What are they doing?
It's an abomination. There are a handful of games here in this crop, in this first batch, that are, in effect, the Lombardi Trophy with a different shaped pedestal. Okay? Everybody's seen it. Everybody, if you've ever looked into buying a fantasy football trophy for your league, it's the football atop some form of a pedestal. It's either gold or silver or some cheap knockoff. It's just painted that color.
Yes.
And then there's a pedestal underneath it. And in this case, there's a Scooters plaque. Try harder. You're making coffee out of cookies. You can make a better trophy than this.
Well, you could just have a golden coffee mug or something like that.
Full stop. Full stop. This is going to be a recurring theme. Don't get me going now. I'm going to get worked up later. Okay? I'm just saying, Scooters, if you're paying all this money for this game, you need a better trophy.
I agree. Or an outline of the state of Texas, something that is specific to this game.
Not even that. Okay, moving on.
Anything.
Wednesday, December the 18th, 5:30. It's the Boca Raton Bowl, Western Kentucky 8-5. James Madison 8-4. Dan, what do you got for me?
James Madison, very fun running team, good defense. Western Kentucky, weird team. A very weird team this year.
They are.
TJ Finley got hurt early on, but the offense still wasn't great. I think I like James Madison here. I think I like the upside of what they can do offensively. I mean, look, it was running and defense is what got James Madison to a good place. Obviously, lost a couple games they'd love back, but first-year coach and Bobby Ches, I think I like JMU here.
You're burying the lead.
Which is?
Western lost its left tackle to injury a week ago.
Okay.
Also, the following players are currently in the portal.
Oh, yeah.
Starting quarterback, wide receiver, linebacker, defensive end, nose tackle, defensive tackle, safety, and kicker.
That's a lot.
Also, their backup, TJ Finley, who you mentioned, as well as their third stringer.
They're down three quarterback. Was it Caden Velkamp? Who's Western Kentucky's starting quarterback? Or who became their starting quarterback after TJ Finley got hurt early on this season?
I don't think it's Caden Velkamp.
It is Caden Velkamp.
Caden Velkamp. Okay, whatever. I'm getting my notes mixed up.
You're good.
This does not mean they are not playing, because portal guys have actually played in bowl games before for Tyson Helton. It's just a pretty big distraction, I think, against a JMU team, as you said, running in defense.
How's the trophy?
Winners of this game get the Howard Schnellenberger Championship Trophy.
That's pretty cool.
What do you think the design is? Just going to throw it out there. What do you think the design is for this? Cool name for a trophy, right? Schnellenberger, like a popular name, a historic name in college football.
Sharp dresser, big mustache.
What do you think the trophy is? Yeah, just tell me. What do you think it looks like?
A mustache, a golden mustache.
It's a golden football on a pedestal with an inscribed plaque of Schnellenberger's face.
Well, that's at least
Why
personal.
not make the face the trophy?
Okay.
Why do we got to do the gold football thing? That's already been done. Give me a big old Schnellenberger face and give that to the winner. Who is not playing for the Schnelly face?
I agree. It's a weird thing to display potentially in your school's trophy cabinet.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's kind of cool to me.
By the way, bowl season's fun. Make it fun on the trophy. Don't cut corners here, Boca Raton Travel Commission, whatever this is.
I had good ramen in Boca Raton a long time ago.
Oh.
Like 4 years. I think it was called Ramen Lab. Free plug there. It was good. If you're going to this game, Ramen Lab.
We agree on James Madison, by the way.
Yes.
Wednesday, December 18th, 9 p.m. It is the bowl game with the most modifiers. If you were diagramming the name of this game, bowl is the noun, art of sport is the prepositional phrase acting as an adjective. LA is a single adjective modifying bowl, and hosted by Gronk is the participial phrase that also modifies bowl as the noun.
Look at you.
Thank you, Dan. I was good at this in high school.
The grammar hammer.
Thank you. This is the Art of Sport LA Bowl hosted by Gronk.
Formerly the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl.
Formerly Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
Cal 6-6, UNLV 10-3.
I think, man, this is tough because you have a Cal team without their starting quarterback, a UNLV team without their starting head coach.
I jotted down this one is like picking between freezing to death and burning alive.
I'm going to go Cal.
Why?
I think they still have enough weapons on offense. Defensively, they got enough stops. It's not a big travel situation for either one of these teams. I think top to bottom, there's a little bit more talent depending on what happens in the portal. Yeah. But we could see more UNLV guys. Now, UNLV probably has the single best healthy offensive weapon perhaps, in Ricky White.
If he doesn't opt out. If he doesn't opt out. If he doesn't opt out, and that was my note here. It's mostly a full boat.
I do like the running back room for Cal, though. I think they're going to get going.
Cal is down Fernando Mendoza, who we mentioned earlier. Chandler Rogers got hurt in the last game of the year. So it could be C.J. Harris in there, a quarterback who I believe transferred from Ohio. You mentioned that earlier. But I don't know yet who's playing and who isn't. They're also down their leading receiver, Neziah Hunter, who I think is in the portal.
He's in the portal, yeah.
Their left tackle got hurt. They have some other guys who are nicked up and questionable as well on the Cal side. If this game were in week 9, I'd be fired up to watch it.
Yeah.
I'd be super fired up with both of these teams kind of at full strength. As such, I'm going UNLV here. I have too many questions on the Cal side right now.
See, I feel similarly about I think UCLA against Boise State last year.
Yeah.
With all the changes. So yeah, I'm going to go Cal here. I just think there's still enough there on that roster.
The trophy is a championship belt, Dan.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
Who doesn't like a good strap?
Well, is that because of the Gronk element?
I have
is it
no
a
idea.
New trophy belt? Okay.
I think as far as I can tell, they have persisted with this trophy. Now, I don't know this is a relatively new bowl.
Yeah.
But they're giving out straps. It's a little bit of pro wrestling. You do it for your teammates. You do it for your college. You do it to win the straps, dog.
You do it to win the straps, dog.
This is in the upper tier. Upper tier trophies.
I totally agree. I mean, the only thing I don't love about it is it just feels kind of turnover-y.
It does. It's a little bit overused. But it's still, it's a cool concept.
It's a cool concept. They're trying, and we appreciate swings here on the Solid Verbal. If you're going to this game, let me know. I'll help you out with West Side food recommendations.
Let me know.
Let me know.
December 19th, 7 p.m. It's a Thursday. The R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. Georgia Southern at 8-4. Sam Houston at 9-3. Sam Houston, you mentioned earlier, lost Casey Keeler, their coach. He took the job at Temple. I actually really like that hire for Temple. He's got roots here on the East Coast, particularly in Delaware.
Not far.
I will save some time otherwise and just say that most of Sam Houston's defense is in the portal. It's unclear if they'll play or not.
Predictably, yeah.
But most of them are in the portal, probably as a result of this. Looks like a rock fight to me, Dan. Like, we're not talking about a potent Georgia Southern offense either. This is a team that was mostly led by defense. If Sam Houston is down to backups, that will benefit their offense for sure. I just don't know here. I don't know. I think I saw the point spread was 7 in favor of Georgia Southern. I would be inclined to go points just because this feels very rock fighty to me.
Yeah, Georgia Southern won 3 of their last 4. You remember they opened the season with that shootout against Boise State. They scored 40-plus against Boise State, moved the ball through the air, but gave up a ton, obviously, as everybody did to Ashton Genty. They haven't been a great bowl team under Clay Helton, but I think in this situation, they're more advantaged by the continuity, so I'm going Georgia Southern.
What do you think the trophy is for a game like this? R&L Carriers, like a big trucking, about like a
or
nationwide trucking company.
Maybe
Orleans,
like
right?
Jazz instruments, golden jazz instruments or something like that. I'm going to go generic Lombardi-ish.
We've got another silver football atop a pedestal, Dan.
Yeah.
It's a silver football atop a clear octagonal base.
Okay.
Ooh, isn't that great?
Yeah, let's get some. We're in New Orleans.
Could you not? You're in New Orleans.
One of the world's great cities.
Great city. Do like a golden, like Louis Armstrong trumpet or something.
Sure.
Or R&L Carriers, you're paying for the bowl. Again, this is my call to you, my plea.
Golden tire.
How about a big 18-wheeler, man?
Okay.
Like
a gear shift?
One. Yeah, a big one, like a 3-foot long one that everybody can hold up as a team afterwards.
Golden mud flap?
Something like that. something that steers get it into it.
Ah.
What are we doing here, guys? The gold football. Come on.
That's tough.
You shouldn't even have a bowl if this is your trophy. I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend the R&L Carriers, but
this is the time to steer into what you are.
That's what I'm talking about.
But yeah, if it's New Orleans, have a golden riverboat. Do anything.
It doesn't need to be the coolest looking trophy in the world. It does need to have some heart behind it.
Yes.
Some effort behind it. And that is what our next bowl game has.
The golden gumbo.
That is what our next bowl game has. All right?
Okay, good.
We are now moving to December the 20th, Dan. We are not talking about playoff games. There is one playoff game on the 20th at night. We're going to be doing a live stream for Notre Dame, Indiana.
Canoodlewithty.com.
We
I'm
do
really
not
going to have
own
to
it.
buy it the more I
You're
say
gonna have
it.
to. You're gonna need to buy that.
Did I ever tell you that I worked in the business affairs office at DreamWorks for like 7 months? And one of the things, this is true of all TV shows, movies, anytime a URL is mentioned that's made up,
Yeah.
like if it's a movie about a kid who starts a website called like buytylerstoys.com or something like that, they have to buy it.
Yeah.
They have to buy it ahead of the movie coming out or else it's disastrous.
So
and
are you
somebody
the
buys
dude
it.
going on GoDaddy.com?
So I wasn't the one doing it, but I just remember like I had to comb through scripts, and if there was any like URL mentioned, that I had to flag it. That's all.
This game is on December the 20th. We've got 2 games on December the 20th that we're going to talk through here. The bowl bingo game, this is when it's officially going to lock and you can start scoring points. So from this point forward in the episode, Dan.
Yeah.
I want you to think. I want you to comb the depths of your brain.
All right.
For any kind of odd or not odd circumstances, things, situations that we can put on the bingo card.
Okay. From this point forward,
From
starting
this
with
point forward.
Staff. I almost said staff DNA.
No.
Staff DNA Cure Bowl.
This is a trophy with some heart.
Okay. Is it a double helix?
The Cure Bowl is named to promote awareness and research of breast cancer.
Okay.
And so, yeah, the trophy is like that 3D pink ribbon.
Oh, that's cool.
Or a helix. I don't know. But it's
No,
it's got,
the helix was in reference to the DNA. Like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
double
yeah.
helix of Watson and Crick DNA. Yeah.
this I believe this trophy is mainly in the shape of that, like it's like a 3D version of the pink ribbon that you see during Breast Cancer Awareness Month and whatnot. So cool trophy. This one is obviously up there near the top of the power ranking given circumstances. Ohio 10-3, Jacksonville State 9-4. On paper, a good matchup. Also, both coaches are leaving for other jobs. We got RichRod going back to West Virginia. We talked about Tim Albin going to Charlotte. At the time of recording, I have no way of knowing right now, we're recording this on Friday, what the transfer situation is going to look like for both of these teams. It looks pretty good on the Ohio side. Jacksonville State, there's a chance there's an exodus. So I don't know. I don't know at time of recording. You mentioned it earlier, though. I am inclined to go Ohio. I'm inclined to go Ohio here. I think there's less likelihood that we're going to see like transfer mayhem. It is a MAC team, though, and that's what gave me cause for pause, our favorite pet charity.
Right. Yeah. Jacksonville State, a healthy, full roster of Jacksonville State ran the hell out of the ball this year.
Yeah.
Defense was okay, but they ran the hell out of the ball. Ohio's lost nobody beyond, once again, Tim Albin, starting head coach. I'm inclined to say Ohio just because I do want to make an exception if the roster is intact and the vibes are as strong as they are with their drubbing in the MAC championship game. So I'm going Ohio circumstantially here. But yeah, I think this is one of the more watchable games just to see if Ohio can build on their win over Miami.
I'm adding Ohio money line as one of our choices on the bingo card.
Okay.
Ohio money line, just straight up. No point spread, just Ohio's got to win. Right now, as I'm looking at it, it's Ohio minus 1.5, so they're slightly favored, but point spreads don't mean anything this time of year. Going to add that to the bingo card, okay? That's one of our options.
So Jacksonville State had 2,000-yard rushers, their quarterback and their running back. Anything you want to do with, not necessarily this game, but this first week, that like a prop with a rushing attack, a team goes over 300 yards rushing in a bowl game?
That. Let's put that on. So
team goes over 300.
Goes over 300 yards rushing. That's also a great bet because, as you know, some of these teams are fully depleted.
Right.
And you're going to get some weird results.
A lot of exercise happening.
Oh, I like this one, Dan. I like where your head's at. I'll zoom in. You kind of zoom out and give me that bigger picture, okay?
Okay.
Friday, December the 20th, 3:30, Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl, Dan.
Gasparilla, yeah.
Tulane 9-4, Florida 7-5. Florida at time of recording a 13-point favorite over Tulane. It's a big number. Tulane's gonna be down Darian Mensah, who, as you said earlier, committed to Duke. Big get for Duke after Malik Murphy decided he was going back in the portal.
Mm-hmm.
Tulane's second and third stringers also in the portal, although your guy Ty Thompson said he's going to stick around and play the game.
Okay, my guy.
For Tulane.
Yeah.
He's your guy. He's an Oregon guy. And on the Florida side, not a whole lot of consequence in the portal. I mean, like potentially a few opt-outs here, but Florida seems like they're in a pretty good spot. Obviously, they had a ton of momentum going into the latter half of its season. Tulane, I believe, lost its last two. I don't know if they're winning by 13. That seems like a big number against a pretty decent Tulane team, but I also shudder a little bit to go Tulane because of the momentum being a lot on Florida's side, and I think they're going to care about this game. It's relatively close. They played
It's in Tampa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think this is a limb from limb situation for Florida. I think this is a great opportunity to close a year that had already ended with very good vibes for Florida, with a nice bowl win, not traveling too far, a lot of family in the stands. In terms of interest, right? It's just DJ Lagway should put on a show.
How much of a show? Should we add this to the bingo card?
DJ Lagway 250 over under yardage. Because here's the thing: if it's limb from limb, they're going to pull him. They don't want DJ Lagway to get hurt.
See, I think we got to go lower than that.
225, 220
Let's go
yards passing.
Let's go 201. No, let's go 199 and a half.
199 and a half.
Just to get to 2. Yeah, just to get to 2.
Oh man, I just think that's such an easy call, but okay.
199 and a half.
He can do that in the first half if he's on and Tulane is
I don't
emptied
know
out.
about that.
Okay.
199 and a half.
Total passing yardage for DJ
Total,
Lagway.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to add that one to the
Add
card.
it to the list.
Anything else that jumps out to you here? It's hard on the Tulane side because we don't know who's all playing.
Right. Mekhi Hughes obviously was quite good. We'll see his situation.
Okay. This trophy friggin' rules. This is maybe one of the best ones all bowl season. It is a wooden pirate chest that's propped open with the Gasparilla logo inside of it. Gasparilla, of course, is the annual pirate festival they have down in Tampa with a parade and other community events and such. This trophy's friggin' awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I love this trophy. One of the best all bowl season long.
Good job, guys. We love our pirate theme.
Let's go ahead in time then to Monday, December the 23rd, 11 a.m. Eastern time. It's an early game. Early game for you, 10 a.m. Central.
On a Monday?
On a Monday.
This is right in my wheelhouse. I got the TV right here. It'll just be on in the background. Continue.
Myrtle Beach
Bowl.
Bowl.
I'll be in Mexico, won't I?
Mexico, yes.
Yeah. Okay, great.
I'm sure this will be all over Mexican television.
Continue.
Coastal Carolina 6-6. UTSA also 6-6 and favored by 6.5 points.
Probably rightfully so. Coastal is down 2 quarterbacks.
Both of their quarterbacks are in the portal. Also, it looks like they're going to start a guy named Tad.
Okay.
Redshirt freshman Tad Hudson. He's never taken a snap before. There's a freshman behind him. Per the Action Network, Tim Beck joked that he is, quote, taking reporters out for tryouts, end quote.
If you told me Tad Hudson regularly pitched complete games for the Washington Senators in 1927, I'd be like, yeah, that sounds right. Good job, Tad.
They've got a bunch of other guys in the portal. Notably, one of the great names we've ever seen in this sport, Matthew McDoom, the corner.
Yes, of course. Is he related to Eddie? He must be.
I hope he has to be. There's not a lot of McDooms out there.
No.
They're also kind of nicked up, kind of hurt. Let me just get out in front of this. Don't pick Coastal. UTSA is not perfect, but they may not be at full strength. They're still better.
They finished stronger. Yeah. They figured out their offense. Yeah.
So I think we should go both sides of this one. I think we should give people the option.
Okay.
Since we seem pretty adamant about this, one of our bingo card items can be UTSA minus the points. The other can be Coastal plus the points.
Okay.
Seems fair enough, especially since we don't know who's playing where, right?
That's true.
Just keep this one simple. Maybe you feel strongly about one of these versus the other. This trophy here is your standard issue gold football atop a rectangular pedestal, Dan. Actually more of a concave rectangular pedestal, so it sort of curves in.
See, the big problem here is when you go to these trophy cabinets in the administrative building, you want stuff that tells a story.
This you can buy online for like $150.
Yeah, like this is so forgettable.
I have not done the full second batch. We're going to do that again on Thursday.
Right.
Right now in my power rankings, 1 through 17. This is number 17. This is the worst trophy that we are talking about today. It's
The
terrible.
Myrtle Beach one?
It's horrible. It is the football, the concave pedestal, and they just have like a very chintzy looking Myrtle Beach Bowl logo on it. You got to do better. I mean, there's so much going on at Myrtle Beach. You named it after a tourist hotbed. Put golf clubs on there. Put like you're next to the ocean. Like all of this stuff you can do. Put a wave on it. Do something. This is just brutal. This
Myrtle
is a poor
Beach
effort.
has many ghost stories, including the tales of Alice Flagg and the Gray Man, according to...
Put the Gray Man on there. Do it.
Well, not before we research what the Gray Man
Not
actually
before. He
means.
could be. Is he problematic? He could be
I have no
problematic.
idea, but
Okay.
I can't say one way or the other. There's an aquarium. There's nice gardens there. There's a great Christmas light show at Myrtle Beach, apparently.
You can
I've never
make a
been.
better trophy than this, guys. You're paying for the game. Pay more for the trophy.
The Seaside Golf It'd be weird to put golf clubs on a football trophy. That I can understand
Yeah.
staying away from.
Yeah. Okay. Monday, 12/23, December the 23rd,
Okay.
2:30 p.m. The famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Now we're talking.
I'm Stephanie Johansson on behalf of the Idaho Potato Commission. Yeah, continue.
Northern Illinois 7-5, Fresno State 6-6.
Now this is a wheelhouse matchup for you, Ty. Let's get that Northern Illinois deep dive from Mr. Notre Dame.
No, I'm not doing that. It still hurts, Dan.
Pass defense, one of the best in America?
Still hurts. Still hurts.
Yeah. They were right there. Notre Dame was right there.
They were right
against
there with
Northern
them.
Illinois.
Fresno is hiring Matt Entz to be its next coach. He was with USC last year, this season. Before that, won 2 championships in 5 years with North Dakota State. Something like
Sounds
that.
right.
I have a soft spot for hiring the North Dakota State guys ever since we were up there for that playoff game.
True.
So curious to see how that ends up working out. Fresno was hollowed out a bit on offense, though. We got Mikey Keene back in the portal. Magdalena, their wide receiver, declared for the draft. Got a handful of other losses out wide, and really at all 3 levels of the defense. My gut says Fresno anyway, because, and I use in the MAC, and I try to abide by your rules if it makes sense. But I'm not too confident in that one, Dan.
NIU is down a ton of dudes in the portal, as is Fresno. So then it becomes like, do you trust NIU's coaching staff? I mean, it's Ethan Hampton, right? The NIU
That's right.
quarterback in the portal.
Yeah.
Fresno quarterback, Mikey Keene, in the portal.
Correct.
So I don't think it's a rock fight as much as it is like dueling second baseman pitching in the 24th inning. I guess Fresno. I guess with a little more firepower in the backups. I would assume more firepower for Fresno's backups. So I'm going Fresno.
I think we agree.
Yeah.
I think we agree on that one. Any thoughts on this? I have maybe a trophy bet.
A trophy bet? Okay.
There have been different variations of this trophy over the years, but it's one of the few that I think are legit great.
It's it's the easiest trophy to make because what should be on the trophy is right there in the name.
They're pulling an Orange Bowl. They're giving the winner a big old bowl of spuds.
Great.
Some good meaty russets in there, Dan. I love it. So I'm just wondering, can we fashion a bet around like somebody spilling the potatoes out of the bowl as they pick it up? Is that
I don't know. It might be too abstract, Ty.
Too abstract? Okay, we need something for the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, though. We got to have something here for this that we put in.
So blue turf, NIU, Fresno State.
Like it kind of feels like this could be a very, very ugly offensive game to me.
I was say, it's a plus minus either team scoring 29.5 total points.
I like it. Potato Bowl, one team over 29.5 points.
Yeah. Total. Doesn't have to be offensive. Total points.
Just total points. One team scoring 29.5 points.
Correct. By the way, shout out. My college roommate is from Boise. And when I was there, the fun fact I learned is like the Idaho Potato Baron has like a compound in Boise, and it's kind of on a big hill. And there's some sort of annual event where people ride potato sacks down Old Man Simplot's hill. He might be like the McDonald's seller. Like he might sell potatoes to Idaho. The other thing I learned about famous Idaho potatoes, I think they export far more. Like nobody eats Idaho potatoes in Idaho.
Really?
Because it's such a huge export that they
Where do they come from? Where do they come from then?
Oh, well, no, I think they grow the potatoes in Idaho, but because they have the reputation of being such good potatoes, like 99% of them are shipped out.
Oh,
so they have to bring in potatoes from elsewhere. Or there's just not a lot of people in Idaho, so 1% of the potatoes will do.
That's probably more the case.
Yeah.
Tuesday, this one's on Christmas Eve, 8 p.m. It's the Hawaii Bowl between USF and San Jose State, Dan. This is an excellent trophy game, and I'm going to tell you how they came up with the idea.
Okay.
They've been playing this game since 2002. I cannot confirm this, but this is my assumption, having been deep in the underbelly of corporate America for many years. At some point in the aughts, there was a meeting and probably an intern who said, hey, you know, a football does kind of look like a pineapple.
It totally does. Oblong.
Why don't we make the trophy a football dressed up as a pineapple?
How does a football dress up like a pineapple? Wouldn't you just like put like football stuff on a pineapple?
They kind of. It's more of the other way around. It's a football, and then they just kind of have like the pineapple like roots
coming out of
stuff.
Okay.
Like it's like a football with like a mohawk kind of thing.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
I like that.
It's great.
A pineapple with laces probably would have been cool, but yeah.
It does have laces. It's a football with the little pineapple thing.
Right. Okay.
But again, this is what I'm talking about. New Orleans, Myrtle Beach, even Scooters, Frisco Bowl. Like, come on, guys. What are we doing here? Just keep it simple, stupid. That's all you got to do. Hawaii did it well. USF, San Jose State, Dan, who you got?
First of all, it's called a crown.
The crown. Thank you.
The pineapple crown.
The crown.
I didn't know that. I had to look it up because
that's what I meant. You know what I meant.
I'm going San Jose State here. Both for geography. There's like this weird subplot with USF football that any week now Byron Brown is coming back. And that still hasn't happened. Maybe he'll suit up for the Hawaii Bowl. Also, Kenny Amadololo is a Hawaiian high school quarterbacking legend.
That's right. That's right. Yeah,
I just don't think there's any way that they lose this game, that they leave the islands with an L. So with this offense, I'm going San Jose State here. I feel good about them. I don't know. What's Nick Nash's status?
Unclear at time of recording. Yeah.
Let me think if there's anything on the line here. Passing wise, because it's such a new thing for Kenny Umadalolo teams to pass like they do. What would be?
I feel like we may need a bet if we're going to get some Ken Niumatalolo tears. Now, that might be a little too subjective.
No, see, it's unclear.
Because coming back to Hawaii, right, where there's obvious roots, and as you said, was a legend.
Right.
Like, I think we might get that. I kind of kicked around the idea of, like, will there be a Gatorade dump on Ken Niumatalolo? The problem is you don't always see that.
Well, you don't know if they're going to win.
And you don't know if they're going to win,
yeah.
Right? So you're kind of going a step further. I think I am inclined to go San Jose State minus the number as one of the bets. Okay, just to keep it simple, just, maybe you feel strongly as you do for San Jose State. And then I want to go total yards in this game. And here's why I want to say this. There is some portal action on the USF side, mostly on defense. That's not to say that this has been a shutdown defense at all this season. It's not really their calling card.
Right.
But I'm curious. This feels to me like a game that could end up being a random shootout. And so not only would I put San Jose State -3, but I want to go over under total yardage at 450. Both teams. 450.
Both teams?
450.
Like, you think it's going to be a crazy shootout?
I think it could be a crazy. Let's go 550 total yards, both teams.
So
650. Let's go higher. 650.
650 both teams.
Yeah, total yardage. We add up both their total yardage. Does it go over 650?
Oh, I thought. Look, so if it was a shootout, they would both go over 500 probably. Like
Wanna
a
go
true
higher?
shootout.
What should we go? 800?
Both teams each go.
If they each go over 4, 800 should clear.
Yes, combined 800 total yards. Yes,
We'll make it
over, under.
799 and a half just to
Seven.
kinda...
Here's the other thing you got to remember, though, Ty. Bowl season, Alex Golish, 45-0 over Syracuse. We went and whooped that ass, didn't we?
That's right. That's right.
So maybe our confidence in San Jose State shouldn't be as high as it is.
So I'm saying weird Christmas Eve shootout.
I think so too. 799 and a half total yards over under. What you got?
Thursday. This is the day after Christmas, December the 26th, 2 p.m. The Game Above Sports Bowl. What is that? What is Game Above?
I looked this up. Did you not look it up? Game Above?
I did not look this up. No.
I think it's a... Okay. I have this in my Google. Game Above is it sounds like Entertainment 720.
Okay.
Game Above is a successful, multifaceted brand that includes charitable giving, capital investments, sports entertainment, and media ventures. It was started in Ypsilanti, so just outside of Ann Arbor. It's, I think, associated with Eastern Michigan.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what any of those words mean.
What do they do? I looked at the logo for this game. It looks like a Canva special.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit worried about what I have no idea what the trophy looks like. Their website for the bowl game is part of the Detroit Lions team website, because this used to be the Quick Lane Bowl, which they play at Ford Field.
Mm-hmm.
Used to be the Little Caesars Pizza Bowl before that.
Right.
I don't know what the trophy is.
It's
all
inside.
I can go on
Yeah.
inside. All I can go on is the logo, which to me leaves a lot to be desired.
I agree.
This is Pitt. This is Toledo. Both teams are 7-5. Pitt's a pretty healthy favorite. I am not crazy about Toledo here. And it's really got little to do with your rule and more to do with me just thinking Pitt's better. They're more injured, but I think they're better. I don't know about Eli Holstein.
Nate Yarnell in the portal, right?
Yeah, I don't know about Eli Holstein. It looks like Desmond Reed is going to be good to go, the running back for Pitt, but you're right. Yarney's in the portal. If it's not Holstein, they may be turning it over to a redshirt freshman in David Lynch. But
Good
again, great name. Just unclear to me where things stand for Pitt on the quarterback position, and with some of the injury stuff. I think I'm still on Pitt, though, because I think they're just a better team. But they may
what does
not
that
be able to
mean?
cover that 9. They may not be able to cover that
In
9.
the Game Above Bowl.
Yeah. I don't know. Where are you at here?
I'm just thinking about Game Above more than anything else here, Ty. Multifaceted brand. Storyteller. Poet. Actor. Writer. Mother. I'm going to go with Pitt as well. I don't know what, again, Toledo's status in the portal. Because all these MAC teams hit pretty hard. Toledo is down not that many players. Pittsburgh is down more players.
Yeah, it doesn't look horrible to me.
I'm going to go Toledo here.
You're going Zips?
I think Pitt on a slide.
Rockets.
To end the year.
Zips. I'm thinking Akron. Excuse me. I did a video on the Rockets.
I'm going Rockets. Yeah. I'm going Toledo.
Game Above Sports Bowl, Dan. I think there are opportunities here for interesting bets.
Okay.
I want to look at Desmond Reed rushing yardage. It sounds like he will be good to go. He may not be good to go, but that's part of the bet. I would go over, let's say, 110 rushing yards for Desmond Reed.
I like that.
Okay.
How about this? It can be Desmond Reed or whoever has the most carries for Pitt.
A Pitt running back.
109.5.
Over 109.5 yards. I like that.
Okay.
That's fabulous.
Fabulous.
On the Toledo side, on the Rockets side,
Yes.
I think it's a question of passing offense for me personally. And I don't have a whole lot of confidence in it. So let's say over 175. A Toledo quarterback goes over 175, 174.5
Okay.
yards passing. Okay. We'll keep this one more player proppy.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm switching my pick to Pitt. I'm going back to Pitt. I'm swinging back in the Pitt direction.
Also on Thursday, 5:30 p.m., it's the Rate Bowl.
Used to be guaranteed rate. Apparently, it's not guaranteed anymore. Sorry, guys. We made a bunch of promises. There is a rate. Not guaranteed.
They give out a 2-dimensional silver cactus that is shaped like a goalpost, and it's got a football going through it.
Mm-hmm.
They play this one in Arizona, which is why they're doing the whole cactus thing. But it's not the Arizona Bowl because that's a different game.
Right.
This is a piss poor effort from the guaranteed rate folks, Dan. It just is.
Tell me why.
You could have a very creative spin on something other than the standard issue cactus shaped like the goalpost with the ball going through it. It just seems like this is AI generated to me. This is a piss poor. There's no creativity in this whatsoever.
If it were me, and it's not, I have the golden mangled sky cam that fell during this game in like 2000. Oh, I don't even know. 2009, 2010. I think Iowa was in that game.
Yeah.
That was when it was either the Insight or Insight.com.
Right.
Was this? I'm on the site right now. Was it ever the Micron PC Bowl or was that a different game?
Oh my gosh. I have no idea.
Okay. Sponsors.
The family trees on a lot of these bowl games are preposterous.
Oh my God. Okay. Copper Bowl, 1989. Domino's Pizza Copper Bowl. Weiser Lock Copper Bowl. Standard Copper Bowl. Insight.com. Insight. Buffalo Wild Wings. Ticket City Cactus. Motel 6 Cactus. Straight Cactus. Cheez-It Bowl. Guaranteed Rate Bowl. Rate Bowl.
Yeah.
That's it. I remember the Copper Bowl. Love the Copper Bowl.
I don't like this trophy. This is a lousy trophy. Rutgers 7-5, Kansas State 8-4. I am watching specifically both running backs here.
Sure.
I want to see if we get any opt-outs. We could see an opt-out from the heel monster, Kyle Monangai. We could see an opt-out from DJ Giddens for Kansas State. I think K-State's the better team. Full stop. Better team. There's a reason why they're favored here by this metric in, I don't know, about 7 points, excuse me.
Yeah.
I don't see a whole lot of transfers right now to their name. Seems like they are healthy enough. We know that they've been somewhat inconsistent, but they should be better than Rutgers, don't you think?
They lost at least an offensive lineman, starting offensive lineman, Kansas State. I want it's Carver. I think his name is Carver.
Yeah.
Carver Willis.
Yeah.
I think he's off to Washington. I'm going to go Kansas State here as well. Though I should note, I don't know the status of Kyle Monangai. I don't know if you mentioned that. I apologize if you did. Rutgers was like 2.5 minutes away from being 10-2. Now, winning is a skill that they did not possess. But you look at the UCLA game, Nebraska game, obviously the Illinois game with Pat Bryant, not to bring up painful memories for Rutgers fans. They were led by their offense, weirdly enough, which wasn't great, but their defense kind of fell off this year. I'm inclined to take Rutgers. I'm going Kansas State just because I think they have a higher ceiling here, less travel. So I'm going K-State here.
Interesting thing to note.
Yeah.
The over-under here is 51.5 points.
Okay.
That feels very high to me. I want to put over-under in this, on this bingo card.
Okay.
On one side, you've got over 51.5. On the other, you've got under 51.5. The lines may change by the time you get to your bingo card, but the points, the total in this one to me is something of interest. I can make a case for both. I can make a case for a lot of points. I can make a case for just a rock fight that they score like 23 in total.
Sure.
So I'm going to add the over-under to our bingo card, okay?
Okay. No Avery Johnson prop? 2.5 total touchdowns running and passing?
Do you want to do that? We could do that.
I would love to. Sure.
Avery Johnson.
2.5, 3.5? What do you want it to be?
2.5.
Any way he gets, if he catches a fake pass for a touchdown, counts.
Yeah.
2.5 total touchdowns, Avery Johnson.
We're going to keep the over-under in here and the Avery Johnson bet as well.
Yes. Okay.
Also on Thursday, getting here to the bitter end of our bowl batch. We've got about 5-6 games left to go.
All right, let's get through them.
Try to zip through them. The 68 Ventures Bowl, Dan.
Okay.
This was the website you went on last year and noticed that some of the executives sound like SEC quarterbacks. Remember that?
I remember that. Yes. It's like some kind of like insurance company or something, real estate company in Birmingham?
It's sort of like a real estate development-ish company from what I could gather. The money quote on their mission statement is, or in their mission statement, quote, "Our culture is heavily influenced by the military and athletic experiences of many of our team members," to which I say they may be SEC quarterbacks.
Yeah, absolutely.
There may be some truth to that. We've got Arkansas State at 7-5. We've got Bowling Green at 7-5, Dan. Harold Fannin going to play, man.
Of course. Of course he is. Going to prove all those Mackey voters wrong once again, like he did all season long.
All starters are reportedly playing for Bowling Green.
Hell yeah.
I think we got to go Falcons here, right?
Where's this game? Where's the 68 Ventures Bowl located?
Birmingham.
That's a tough sell. I think Arkansas State might travel somewhat well to this one. This is the fourth team, I believe, Butch Jones has taken to a bowl game.
Correct. Yes. Mobile, Alabama. Excuse me. I was close.
I'm going Arkansas State here. I don't know why. I don't know how. But if I'm going to say, well, Harold Fannin could single-handedly do this. Arkansas State's defense this year was awful.
Yeah.
They're very bad. They weren't great to end the year. They lost to ODU 5-7. But, well, they get to a bowl game. They did something right. Beat South Alabama.
That's right.
Who we'll get to. I'm going to go with Arkansas State, nevertheless, to take down a MAC team, and I'm going to stick with my ethos.
I want you to think up a Harold Fannin-centric bet while I rant about this trophy, okay?
I already have it. 125. Well, do you want it? Yardage, touchdowns, catches?
It's up to you. You're the fanimal of this show, so why don't you tell me what you think?
6.5 catches, Harold Fannin.
Wow.
Is that low?
Feels kind of low, but you don't know. You just don't know. 6.5 catches. Okay.
No, we'll go.
6.5 is a good number.
8.5. 8.5.
Let's go 7.5.
7.5. There it is.
This trophy, Dan, for a company that's doing as well as the 68 Ventures website would lead you to believe, this trophy looks like it's something influenced by that crystal bowl that you may have in your pantry, that a lot of people have in their pantry. The thing that you use once a year and you maybe put fruit punch or shrimp cocktail in it.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what this trophy is. That's
okay.
the trophy. No, not okay. It's like a wooden
pedestal.
Is there
anything in the bowl? Are there golden shrimp?
No. There's nothing in the bowl.
Alabama Gulf shrimp? Okay.
No. Nothing in the bowl. It'd be better if they put the Gulf shrimp in it.
I agree.
This is a crystal bowl. That's it. That's all. There's nothing in the bowl. Nothing. This is the second year that 68 Ventures has had this bowl game.
Well,
they're giving out a crystal bowl.
In their defense, it is literally the most literal thing that they could give away in a bowl game. A bowl.
I guess. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
They I don't know.
But put something in it, inscribe something on it. This trophy comes across to me like, oh, hey guys, we could use this as a tax write-off. Thanks.
Right, of course.
Got to do better, guys. You just
got to do better than a bowl.
Harold Fannin, 7.5 catches. I think on the flip side of this one, we're going to do Arkansas State money line. Just in case.
Okay.
Just in case. Something to counter your Harold Fannin fan fiction. I don't know. Fan whatever.
Okay.
Friday, 12/27. High noon. It's the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl, Dan.
Okay.
Oklahoma against Navy. Interesting matchup. On the surface, okay, this trophy does not look like anything special. I did the research. I went below the surface on this. Lockheed put some money into this thing.
Okay.
I don't know how
Shocker.
much.
The world's biggest defense contractor. Yeah.
Shocker, I know. I don't know how much this thing cost. That's what I was looking for, and I could not find it.
Yeah.
There is a 5.5-minute video on the website for this bowl game showing how they made it.
Yeah.
Quote, the trophy contains decommissioned pieces of Lockheed Martin aircraft, spacecraft, and weapons that are field tested and battle ready, like the armed forces that inspire it. representing each of the 6 branches of the U.S. Armed Forces. Each piece that goes into this trophy is an iconic symbol befitting of those who answer the call of duty. Dog.
I think, okay. I'll give opinions on our our Patreon show. Continue.
If that sounds heavy,
Yeah,
it's also 65 friggin' pounds.
I appreciate that.
There
I
is some
appreciate
girth.
weight. Yeah.
There is some girth to this. So it's it's like a matte black football, kind of has like a little pedestal holding it up.
Mm-hmm.
You watch the video and at some point it hits you like a ton of bricks.
Mm-hmm.
This thing's going to be heavy. 65 pounds. 65 pounds. So I commend them for the at least, if nothing more, the story behind it. I cannot verify that all the things are in the trophy, the DNA of the trophy, the way they claim.
Right.
But if nothing more, I'll take a good story from where I'm sitting because I got to deal with the Myrtle Beach Bowl here, and this ain't that.
Right.
What do you got for me? Oklahoma versus Navy.
Oklahoma versus Navy.
Weird matchup, right?
Right. Yes. Oklahoma down, obviously. Key pieces, whatever you want to call a piece when you go 6-6, right? Is where Oklahoma finished.
6-6.
Navy disappointing end to their year. Oklahoma's strength is their defense. This will be a Michael Hawkins game, I believe, for Oklahoma.
Yes. So Jackson Arnold, J.J. Hester, Jaleel Farouk, all in
Nick
the
Anderson,
portal.
yeah.
Nick Anderson, Danny Stutzman could opt out, their stud defender.
Yeah.
Navy, of
linebacker,
course,
yeah.
has nobody in the portal, as you might expect.
Right.
And it is a Michael Hawkins game, yeah.
I'm still going to go Oklahoma in this one. How about that? I think they're going to run well. I think the Navy defense is going to struggle, and there are still enough key pieces on this Oklahoma defense that they get stopped. So I'm going Oklahoma.
Here is the question for the bingo card.
Okay.
How many yards rushing does Navy come away with? Against a good Oklahoma defense. How many yards rushing?
What was Navy's, I'm putting you on the spot here. What was Navy's average output in a game, rushing yardage? I can tell you right now. You can be like 5 seconds. 5.
If I had to take a guess, I would say average output 242.
247 yards
Really?
per game.
Okay.
In the American, it was 238. So you were right in the middle there. So why don't we call it 200 even, or 199.5 against Oklahoma?
199.5. I like it.
Okay.
I like it. Do we want to do anything against the other way?
For Oklahoma?
Something with the Oklahoma offense, because for the Navy side of things, obviously the rushing offense was kind of like the biggest show in town.
Mm-hmm.
But Oklahoma, the offense was very much in question for a good chunk of the year. The Michael Hawkins, Jackson Arnold roller coaster ride was something else. It has since now driven Jackson Arnold out.
Right.
Is there a prop bet, a touchdown bet for Michael Hawkins Jr.?
So longest touchdown pass, over under for Oklahoma, 14.5 yards.
Oh.
That could be comically low. That could be comically high.
I think it's got to go higher.
Longest touchdown pass.
I watched Navy against Notre Dame.
I watched Oklahoma against South Carolina.
South Carolina plays defense, though.
Okay, so fine. You want 24.5? Longest touchdown pass?
I'm going to jot down 24.5. I want to see what the actual line is.
People have come up with the line that ridiculous?
Somebody's got that line.
Okay.
We will have some version of this, okay?
Okay.
Some version of this will be on the bingo card. Michael
Okay.
Hawkins or just overall touchdown pass. We'll come up with something, okay?
Okay.
Okay, we got 4 left. Let's buzz through.
Here we go.
Coming to the end. Long show, but this has been fun. Birmingham Bowl. Georgia Tech -2.5. Vandy scoring off against Tech. They are 6-6. Tech
This is a
finished
really
the
fun
year.
matchup. Yeah.
Yeah, this is, as Bill Connolly said, 2 of the leading characters this season, Dan.
Yes.
Strong trophy game. And they took a chance here. I'm not going to lie. This is a trophy inspired from a Vulcan statue that sits atop the nearby Red Mountain. It's been there since before World War II. I had no idea this was a thing.
Awesome.
This guy's a Roman god. Also, of note, he is not wearing pants and in the trophy, his bare ass is fully exposed.
I appreciate this. I appreciate all of it.
Very strong trophy game here. Very strong.
Georgia Tech down some key pieces to the portal. Notably, Eric Singleton?
Yep. Eric
Big
Singleton.
play receiver.
Yep.
I'm still going to go Georgia Tech here. I'm still going to go Georgia Tech.
I'm going Vandy.
Really?
I'm going. See, now, if Georgia Tech were to win, does that indirectly validate SMU over Bama? Maybe.
I think it's a huge referendum on the SEC as a whole.
I
There
think so
might be
too.
no bigger bowl game that can stand in as a referendum on what the SEC is or isn't than Georgia Tech Vandy.
All right, we need to have a Haynes King versus Diego Pavia bet here.
Okay.
We'll
Total
do-
yardage, since they're both dual threats, something like that.
Do we want to do Haynes King total yardage? I think it's going to be all on Haynes King. I think.
Okay.
And for Diego Pavia, why don't we do touchdowns, total touchdowns?
Oh, I thought you were going to have head-to-head. Who's going to have more total yardage?
Oh, do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Haynes King.
We'll see what the status was. Haynes King's shoulder
Yeah.
was what was ailing him this year.
Okay. Haynes King, more total yards than Diego Pavia. Pavia, more total yards than Haynes King.
Yeah.
Great.
I can tell you what their yards, not yards from scrimmage. That's running back and total offense, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Total offense, Haynes King versus Haynes King. Total yardage was 248.8 in every game.
Yeah.
Diego Pavia 237.4. Right there.
Not bad. I like it. I
Okay.
like training your thought here. Friday, get in the zone. 12:27, 7 p.m. AutoZone Liberty Bowl.
Yes.
Texas Tech against Arkansas. This could be a fun game.
I
This
like
one, I
as
jotted
well.
down. This feels like max chaos to me.
Mm-hmm.
We got Arkansas banged up along the line. They've got 6 healthy scholarship offensive linemen left. 3 of their linemen are in the portal. They've also got a starting wide receiver. Their star tight end, Luke Haas, excuse me. I'm watching Andrew Armstrong as well, their wide receiver, to see what he ends up doing. On the Tech side, Tech lost Zach Kitley, their offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
He is now the head coach at Florida Atlantic.
FAU, yeah.
And they fired Tim DeRuyter, the defensive coordinator. I have no idea in this game. Truly, I have no idea what to expect in this football game.
I mean, 2 very strong rushing attacks.
Yes. I don't know
Taylor
about...
Green, dual threat. We'll see who's playing.
Yeah, we'll see who's playing. I don't know if we're going to have like an opt-out for Taj Brooks. It's a possibility.
I like Arkansas here.
I do too.
Taylor Green announced he's coming back, right?
That's correct. Yep.
2 very volatile teams this year. But if Taj Brooks is a maybe in this one, I think I lean Arkansas. So is there a bowl bingo item to be had here?
I think the thing I'd like to play into is max chaos.
Okay.
So can we do something like total points in the game? Maybe just like a classic over-under.
Or if you really truly believe this game is chaotic.
I believe this is max chaotic, yeah.
So why don't we do number of lead changes in this game?
Oh.
10.5?
10.5's a lot. It's like a basketball
7.5?
game. Come on. That's way too many. 10.5's like a basketball game, dude.
No, that's not. If it's back and forth.
In a football game? No way.
Okay, 5.5. 4.5. -17, Ty. Give me an indicator of where your brain is. Lead
We'll do
changes.
5 lead changes.
So is that 4.5 or 5.5?
More than 5.5. We'll do
Okay.
5.5.
5.5 lead changes
lead changes.
in this specific game.
Yeah, less than 5.5 lead changes.
Okay.
Oh, I like this, Dan. This is good. This is very, very good. Okay. Moving on. The DirecTV Holiday Bowl, 8
Wait,
p.m.
hold on. Can we define lead changes, though? Does the first score count as a lead change? Like if a team goes up from 0-0 to 3-0, is that a lead change? I think that's just a lead start.
That's just a start, yeah.
Okay. So excluding the first score.
Yeah, excluding the first score.
Shifts in lead change.
That's right.
Okay. I just want to be clear.
I forgot about the trophy here. What do you think the trophy is for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl?
A muffler?
This is one of the oldest bowls. Been around since about 1959.
This is Memphis?
It's in Memphis, but this is the giveaway. It was started originally in Philadelphia Memorial Stadium.
Oh, it's the Liberty Bell. So the bell?
It's the bell, yeah.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, the bell is cast right down the road in Sellersville, Pennsylvania, a place I know extremely well and have very strong family ties. I could go down there and watch him make this thing if I really wanted.
Wait, hold on. They made the trophy or they made the actual Liberty Bell?
No. They make a authentic to scale quarter-sized Liberty Bell, and that's the trophy.
Okay.
So they didn't make the actual Liberty Bell, but they're making like, if you go on the website, they talk about the craftsmanship that this place, puts into building this trophy. There's a story here. They put a lot of heart and soul into it. It's an authentic like replica of the Liberty Bell, but it's shrunken down to a quarter of the size.
Am I saying this right? It's Penridge High in Sellersville?
Penridge, yep, that's correct.
How do we feel about Penridge High?
Had a pretty good football team this year, from what I understand.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's all I need to know.
Friday, 12/27, 8 p.m., DirecTV Holiday Bowl. Holiday Bowl is usually kind of weird, isn't it? Kind of fun. Usually good matchup.
It's traditionally pretty fun and weird, yes.
Syracuse 9-3, Wazoo 8-4 this year. We got a cylindrical football atop a slotted a silver football atop a slotted cylindrical pedestal for a great bowl game. I want to spend a little more cash on the trophy.
And it's also San Diego. So you have like the Navy presence. You have, SeaWorld sucks, but you have ocean life available.
Yeah, man.
Beach culture.
Yeah.
Mexican food.
Put a golden taco up there. Come on.
I agree.
Or even a golden satellite dish. Or a
Also
wreath. Or a poinsettia. Something to like speak to a sponsor or the name of the... Nothing.
Holiday Bowl is so fun. It's one of my favorite things about college football is the holiday. I have so many good memories down in San Diego.
Was this the game that was flooded out that one year?
That may have been the San Diego County Credit Union Poinsettia Bowl.
The Poinsettia Bowl, okay. But it was at the stadium.
It was at whatever it is, Qualcomm, whatever they call it now.
Yeah.
And that was a Navy game. I remember enjoying that the United States Navy was playing in a flooded bowl game. Yeah.
And that might have been the year that had Wave Rider on the team, too, if memory serves.
That all computes for me, yeah.
Did you catch what the Franimal had to say about this game?
No.
They asked the Franimal, Fran Brown, Syracuse coach, whether any of his guys were going to opt out. Quote, "We don't opt out around here."
Do they have any opt-outs?
They don't. Not that I could
subsequently?
see. No, not that I could see. I mean, not really anybody of substance.
Okay.
Wazoo does have a few guys in the portal. The big one we're waiting on is John Mateer. And
right.
Wazoo is supposedly trying
I think there's some other schools waiting on John Mateer as well. Yeah.
There are. He's a good player. He's an exciting prospect. Wazoo is trying to put something together to keep him in Pullman. I hope they can do it. But unclear at this point if that's yay or nay. That's been going on for a couple days. I'm on Cuse here. I think Cuse is the better team. I think this could also be Max Chaos. But that's pretty dependent on John Mateer playing.
Vibes are good. Travel is extensive, but I will say, to even enhance the vibes, it's not warm in Pullman, Washington right now. 27 degrees currently in Syracuse, New York, with perhaps another foot of lake effect snow coming.
Oh, man.
And you've got San Diego on the horizon. I'm going good vibe cues here.
I got Kyle McCord over 3.5 touchdown passes for one bet. And we should go Wazoo money line on the other one.
Wazoo money line?
Yeah.
What is the money line?
It's just picking Wazoo outright to win the game. So you're either picking Wazoo outright or one of your other options here is Kyle McCord over 3.5 touchdown passes.
Gotcha. Okay. And Wazoo down there starting like very good freshman running back.
That's right.
Wayshawn Parker. Yeah.
Final game, Dan. We made it.
All right.
Made it the full way through. Friday, December 27th, 10:30 p.m. This is the Las Vegas Bowl. This is Texas A&M. This is USC.
And this is no longer at Sam Boyd Stadium. It's in like Allegiant Stadium.
I believe it's in Allegiant Stadium.
So this is Texas A&M USC.
The SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl, correct.
So this is typically like an old Pac-12 team that's disappointed to be there, losing to an excited Mountain West team.
That's exactly right.
But that's not the case this year. USC A&M. USC down key contributors?
Down key contributors. I think
portal?
A&M could have opt-outs from Nick Scorton, Shamar Stewart, maybe some others.
Right.
Obviously, Connor Wigman already transferred out. I still think A&M's the better team, though.
I'm going to go with A&M as well.
I still think A&M's the better team. This is a white bejeweled football. It's held up by like 3 curved prongs, Dan. More colorful, I would say, than most. I think it takes inspiration from a slot machine. I don't hate it.
Okay.
There was at least some effort here.
Vegas
I feel
vibes.
I feel like this is a trophy that should light up. Like you're in Vegas.
Right.
Do something crazy with it. Have lasers coming out of it or something nutso.
Mm-hmm.
So there's room to grow here, but this is not the Myrtle Beach Bowl. It's not the 68 Ventures Bowl. This is okay. We need a bet here for this.
A&M is down 2 quarterbacks, right? It's also Jalen Henderson's done for A&M in addition to Connor Wegman.
I believe so. Yeah.
I'm going to say...
Is there something that we can do in this game like a USC blown fourth quarter lead?
Sure. Just a will they, won't they? Yes or no?
Yeah. USC blows a fourth quarter lead.
How about either way, USC holds a fourth quarter lead and they either finish it out or blow it? It says they've held fourth quarter leads in like all of their games except for 1 or 2, I think.
USC wins despite having a fourth quarter lead?
No, I mean it would be losing.
USC blows a fourth quarter lead.
Okay.
Or USC wins despite having a fourth quarter lead.
Right. That usually works against them.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go USC blows fourth quarter lead.
All right, we'll stick with that one.
Yeah.
We got anything on the A&M side that we want to add to the bingo card?
That's a good question. Marcel Reed. Beat up at running back.
Yeah.
Huh. Something against USC specific.
Yeah. We can just stick with blown fourth quarter lead. That's okay.
I think that's fine.
All right. So look, we're going to add more to this bingo card. This is not the total list of bets, but you've got
how many
the
will
idea.
people have to choose?
People will have to choose, I believe, 6.
Okay.
6 items, 6 of these that you think are going to hit. And we will give you more details on the prize for the first week, as well as the overall prize. We're working on that right now.
And what happens if we have a tie? Like the 2 winners have 5.
There's a tiebreaker.
There will be tiebreakers. Okay.
There'll be a tiebreaker. Yeah, absolutely. All right, that does it, Dan. This is a very long show, much longer than usual.
We're giving away a crystal bowl.
To
the winner.
No, we're
week
not.
1.
No, we're not. I will custom design a trophy for the. This is exactly what we're going to do.
Okay.
I will custom design a trophy that we will send you that will be worth it, that you can put in your your home somewhere. Maybe behind you if you work from home, and if you got like a Zoom setup or something. I will make a custom trophy that I think is befitting of this regal contest that we're calling Bowl Bingo, okay?
Would you go as far as saying statement piece?
Oh, absolutely.
Conversation piece.
This is an heirloom, Dan. What are we talking about?
You're going to pass this down to generations to come. Okay.
Little Tommy, in the year of our Lord, 2700, is going to have this thing, and he's going to tell stories about you winning it. Yeah. I'm building this myself. I will need some design input from you, though.
Okay, that's fine.
Design is not my thing. You know this, but I know a good design when I see it. And I think that's what's most important.
Okay.
It will not be a golden football atop a pedestal, nor a glass bowl or the 68 Ventures Crystal Shrimp Cocktail Bowl.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Woo! Long episode. Thank you, one. Thank you all. Hope this was informative. Hope this was enjoyable.
This holidays, people are traveling. It's great.
PlayBowlBingo.com is where you can go to get in on the festivities. Again, sign up for our Patreon tier. Any free tier, any paid tier will gain you admittance into the bowl contest. Invite all your friends, invite all your family. We're going to have fun with this. Again, there will be more items for you to pick from, I promise. On that note, please hit follow. Please hit subscribe, excuse me.
Yes.
we will be doing our playoff preview on Tuesday. We'll be doing another batch of bowl games on Thursday, in addition to news and anything that comes up between now and then, okay?
Great.
Fun show, Dan. Thank you for your input as always. Thank you to the Verballerhood for your ongoing support. As always, you can check us out at verballers.com if you want to get in on the action, be part of our Discord. It's going to be popping off during bowl season, during the playoffs, and whatnot. One more time, it's playbowlbingo.com. Hope to see you there. For that guy over there, my good friend Dan Rubenstein, for myself, Ty Hildebrandt. Thank you so much. As always, you know the drill. Stay solid.
Peace.